Student, yesterday we were studied the ecological adaptations in the hydrophyte roots and stem. We study external and internal adaptation in hydrophytes root and stem. Now the next organ is remain, that is a leaf. So today we want to learn what are the external and internal ecological adaptations are develops in the leaves of hydrophytes. As you already know that the hydrophytes are further differentiated into the 3 to 4 types like free floating hydrophytes, rooted hydrophytes, submerged hydrophytes and ephemeral. And according to this type you will see some of the variations in the external and ecological adaptations in the particular organs of the hydrophytes. So today we want to see what are the external and what are the internal adaptations are seen or develops in the hydrophytic plants leaves. First we will see the external adaptations in the hydrophyte leaves. You know that some of the hydrophyte leaves are very large. Some of the hydrophyte leaves which are under the water, they are dissected like a needle, whereas some of the hydrophyte possesses the heterophyly, means the part which is in the water, they shows the reduced leaves, and on the same stem, but it is not in the water, that particular stem shows the well developed leaves, means on a same part which is under water and which is not under water, you will see the differentiation in the leaves development, that is what heterophyly. So we will see what are the external adaptations are there. First, in case of submerged hydrophytes, leaves are very thin and reduced. Thin means they are delicate and reduced means they are of small size, they are not a broad. So why they are becomes a small size? Because the water is get easily pass through them. So that's why they are become a smaller in size. In some cases the leaves are long and ribbon shape. For example, in Vallisneria, the leaves are very long, linear, elongated, flexible, and they are like a ribbon. So along with the water current, the leaves can be easily get fold and bent, and water is get easily pass out over the leaves. For example, in Vallisneria, you will see such condition. In some cases, the leaves are long, linear. Linear means they are narrow or elongated. For example, in Potamogeton, you will see the linear kind of leaves. So these different shapes of leaves helps to hydrophytic plant to withstand in the adverse environmental condition or to withstand in the water current, against the water current. In Nymphea, the leaves are floating large and flat, and they are floating over the surface of water. So why they are becomes a large and floating? Because the leaves only remain floating, because thus this structure is help the hydrophyte to carry out the photosynthesis very efficiently. Also the petiole in such leaves, those which are floating on the surface of water, the petiole is very long, and that long petiole shows the presence of large number of aerenchyma or air cavities, and that store the air. So that also helps the leaves to float on the surface of water. So this is what one of the kind of modification. So that cells becomes a spongy and hold the leaves on the surface of water. You will also see in case of the submerged as well as floating hydrophytes, the externally the leaves are covered with a waxy coating, waxy oily coating. So what is the purpose? The waxy or oily coating do not hold the water. Though the leaves are remain inside the water or touch to the surface of water, then also the leaves surfaces are dry because of the waxy coating and avoid the leaves from the desiccation or decay, and that's why the waxy coating is developed on the upper surface, so water is get easily roll off and that prevents a decay of the leaves. As I said, in some of the hydrophytes the heterophily is observed. Mostly in case of the emergent kind of hydrophytes you will see the heterophily. Heterophily means two different kinds of leaves development. The part which is inside the water, so that part shows the linear elongated reduced kind of leaves, whereas the same part above the water that possesses the well developed leaves, and such two different types of leaves on the same stem in case of the emergent hydrophyte, that is called as a heterophily. So development of two different types of leaves in the some of the emergent hydrophytes. Also in some time the petiole of a some of the leaves is becomes a very small, swollen and spongy. For example, swollen, spongy or reduced. For example, in case of Eichhornia, the petiole is becomes a swollen and swells like a balloon. So that particular kind of petiole possesses the large number of spongy parenchyma, and in that spongy parenchyma large number of air cavities are present that stores the large amount of air. So this particular structure gives the buoyancy to the particular plant. For example, we can see the Eichhornia plant is floating on the surface of water. Why that is floating on the surface of water? Because the reduced swollen petiole store the air, and that air gives the buoyancy to the particular plant. In some of the submerged hydrophytic leaves, in some submerged kind of hydrophytes the leaves are translucent. Translucent means the light can easily pass through the leaves, but the leaves are not transparent. That is what called as a translucent kind of leaves. So these are the several ecological adaptations you can see in the leaves of the hydrophytic plants. That these are the external adaptations. Now we will see the one of the figure, that is what a figure of petiole of a nymphea. This is what a petiole of nymphea. You can see there is a outermost epidermis, the vascular tissue are not well developed, and most of the portion or major portion of this petiole is occupied by the air cavities or aerenchyma. So these air cavities or aerenchyma store air, and the petiole becomes a straight in the water and helps to float the leaves. Now we will go to the internal ecological adaptations in the leaves of hydrophyte. Externally we have saw what are the adaptations. Leaves are reduced, they may possess waxy coating, they may have swollen petiole, they may also have a long petiole. So these are the some helpful adaptations in the leaves that we see externally. Internally also there are some adaptations are developed, and that adaptations helps the leaves to or help the particular hydrophyte to stay live in the plenty of water. So now we will see the internal ecological features or adaptations that develops in the leaf of hydrophytes. In case of submerged hydrophytes, the leaf shows the absence of cuticle. There is no cuticle because there is no question arise of a checking the transpiration. The leaf should throughout the water always, because that is in the plenty of water. The stomata are present only on the upper surface in case of the floating leaves. The lower surface is in the water that do not get exposed to the sunlight, and that is why the stomata are not present, because for opening of stomata sunlight is necessary, and that is why in most of the floating hydrophyte leaves the stomata are present on the upper surface, and that is what called as a epistomatic leaves, means stomata are present on the upper surface. In case of submerged hydrophyte, the stomata are totally absent because the sunlight is do not reach to the water, and that's why the stomata, even though if stomata are present, they will be useless. So that's why in submerged cases the stomata are absent. Epidermis in the leaves, thin walled single layer with abundant of chloroplast, because the epidermis is the layer that can directly exposed to the sunlight. That's why the chloroplast is present more in the epidermal cells, and the photosynthesis can be carried out efficiently. So that is also the one of the advantage of the presence of chloroplast in the epidermis cell. In some hydrophytes, the mesophyll are undifferentiated. In some of the in the floating or in some hydrophytes, the mesophyll tissue means that are the tissue present in between the upper and lower epidermis, or in between upper and lower epidermis, they are called as a mesophyll tissue. Normally these mesophyll tissue are differentiated into palisade cells and spongy cells, but in some hydrophytes such differentiation in the mesophyll tissue you will not see, but in case of some hydrophytes such differentiation you will see. In submerged hydrophytes, the vascular tissue are not well developed. In submerged hydrophyte, the vascular tissue are reduced, and they are not even differentiated in a xylem and phloem, because there is no need of the conduction of water, and that's why the vascular tissue are not well developed. In floating hydrophytes, comparatively the vascular tissue are well developed in case of floating hydrophytes, and they are also shows differentiation into xylem and phloem, but in submerged cases the vascular tissue are totally undifferentiated. There is a well developed petiole in case of the some hydrophytes. The petioles are well developed with the air cavities, and that is helpful for buoyancy, gives buoyancy to a particular plant. In general, in case of the hydrophytes, the vascular tissue and mechanical tissue are seen poorly developed. So these are the some of the internal ecological adaptations we can see in the leaves of hydrophytes, and these external and internal adaptations helps the plant or helps for the withstand the plant in a adverse condition, and that's why these kinds of adaptations are taken place. So these are what the adaptations in the leaves of hydrophyte. Now this is what a section of Nymphea leaves. You can see upper epidermis with a waxy coating, stomata are present. Most of the portion shows the presence of aerenchyma or air cavities, and least development of vascular tissue is seen. So these are what the external and internal modifications in the leaves of hydrophytes. So in this way we completed the adaptations or ecological modifications in the root, stem and leaves. That may be either external adaptations or internal adaptations that we have seen. Now in the next video we want to learn what are the external and internal adaptations occurs in the different parts of a xerophyte. Thank you.